guys, welcome back. Laure here and with Maxlore. Thank you for joining me after your second victory of the split. You guys are off to a really good start, unlike Spring Split. Now, I was talking to Hans earlier and he told me that you made improvements and changes with the coaching staff and the way you guys train. Can you tell me a bit more about this?
Well, I think now we emphasize more on, we actually have like responsibilities in the team instead of just like kind of what we did last split where we got to mid-game and we didn't really have plans. And so we're making more plans nowadays. And the addition of Jesse really has helped us in terms of game knowledge and the different kind of atmosphere that he brings from when he was in Fnatic. Maybe they did something differently that's better than us, or maybe we do something better than them. But of course, we just keep doing that, right? So it's going good.
Okay. And outside of that, do you think that the meta is favoring you in a way at the moment? Is it helping you?
Me as a jungler or Misfits?
The team as a whole.
Well, it's favoring the team because it's favoring me. Yeah.
How so?
Because I think now it's like, I think jungle, even though they made the Scuttle Crab change, if you're really smart and good at like playing around that, you can actually just abuse really like weaker junglers. And also the snowballing meta really, I like that.
And can you tell me a bit more about your role as a jungler? How did it change from spring to summer?
Spring to summer?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it changed. What do you mean, my role in game or?
Yeah, in game, what you have to do. I know that mid and jungle was a really important duo. So is it something different now?
It's still the same. It's really unbalanced roles.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for joining me and congrats, obviously, and good luck for the rest. Now, for more on that, let's get it back to Sjokz, Ender, and Deficio about pre-game analysis.
Thank you very much, Laure. I feel like Maxlore was giving her a bit of a hard time there. What
it's
happened
the beard.
about the
He's got a giant ego. It's the same on the podcast. Whenever he didn't want to answer anything, he just did this. Look at my beard. I'm so sexy.
And you can watch it on video now, too.
Yes,
you can see it yourself.
Where?
YouTube, SoundCloud,
Spotify?
and iTunes.
No, just kidding.
No, Spotify. You're not supposed to say that.
We'll get Spotify at some point.
Yeah, I was kidding. It is definitely iTunes. Maxlore, not the player of the game. Maybe that takes his ego down a notch. It was Hans Sama. 49% of the vote, even though we thought it was a bit of cleanup crew, but I like it because, you know, he's performing. Give him that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just happy because he keeps flashing forward for kills. It's like the Wild Turtle flash, except he's actually getting the last hits.
AD carry picks as well, working really well for Misfits.
Yeah, he is defying the meta or setting it. We will see.
Let's
AD carries are meta. Please keep playing AD carries. They're actually good.
Okie dokie, and Hansama is
We're
proving
very
that.
aggressive, I feel.
Yeah.
I like
Wow.
it.
Because people are aggressively against AD carries.
It's true.
And they're wrong.
Okay, you guys are trying to make a point here. I love it. Let's stand behind it. And let's see what happens in our next game and if the AD carries get picked. Vitality versus Giants. Now, this is really a clash of styles. These teams are extremely different in how they historically have played and also how they played their games yesterday. It is early game from Vitality all-in versus late game for Giants.
Very much early game from Vitality with the Fiddlesticks Heimerdinger combination, just perma pushing. And they were good at this last split as well, when you didn't necessarily have to play early game. A lot of teams were trying to play for late game. They still managed to succeed and go 7-1 by abusing that and winning early.
And it's still working out so well for them too, right? I think Gilius too, this is his time to shine in an early, focused, aggressive jungle type of meta. Maybe not the Taliyah pick. I saw Jiizuké tweeting out that he wants junglers to give Taliyah back to the mid lane. But he can have fun on Nocturne and stuff like that.
We'll see. A lot of Vitality yesterday was about that bottom lane. The Fiddlesticks and Heimerdong are just actually straight up
this feels so
That
bad.
feels bad, man.
We've all done it. We've all flashed straight into a Fiddlesticks to get instant feared.
Yeah, and then you're like, uh-oh.
And then suddenly you're just going to die. Following the team fights also, Cabochard and the Aatrox looked very good. So overall, it was like a classic Vitality versus Splice regular season game, I feel like, where they surprised them in the bottom lane, push in Cobby and Kissing, and just get a massive lead for the rest of the team.
So let me ask you, if we took the meta away, does Vitality still have all the cards to get a couple of early wins in summer?
I think so. They bring surprises regardless. I think you look back to spring of this year, they did the same exact thing with a very similar style, rolling over teams early.
And Attila was definitely a guy that was vocal. He said he already showed weird things in spring, and this is where he can also really shine. Jactroll in the same vein. They can really make it happen. I think this is also a bottom lane that likes when people look at them and talk about them, and when they pull out some plays, so that's working out.
Attila was very vocal last bit when we didn't talk about him. We talked about the other rookie AD carries, and he made sure we started talking about him. We're doing it now, for sure. because he deserves it.
Yes, and Vitality want to do better in summer than they did in spring, and that was already great. Do we still call them rookies, by the way, or is that over? Do we not
No,
look
they're
at them
not rookies
as...
anymore. They're
It always
stable
depends.
veterans.
It kind
always
of depends on
depends.
how it backs up the point we're making. We've been like, young players, basically rookies, if we want to make that a big deal. But no, I guess after one split, you're not a rookie.
Yeah, I think we can now call them the team that is aggressive, that is innovative, and that is picking up wins like that. But we'll see if they do that versus Giants. We said this was a clash of styles because Giants have a coach called Kuvs who says he's the late game king.
Gave me a sticker as well saying
He
it.
did. Where's the sticker then? You didn't bring it.
It's up there somewhere.
Okay, in any case, the Giants, they yesterday in their very first game of the split again defied the meta and went for a late game composition. They put Betsy on Azir, which was really comfort. When it came out, you guys didn't love it, but they got the win.
It was a little scary seeing the draft. I think both me and Deficio were like, late game? That's a little ambitious. But then Betsy really showed up on that Azir.
Yeah, it was also like Poppy scaling. There was a Tam Kench bot lane against a double range combination. Like, HK kind of had all the tools to get ahead early, but HK is not a good early game team. So I guess the plan from Giants was to say, these guys will not punish us in the early game. We can go to late game. I don't think it's the same today.
It's a dramatic finish.
Yeah, you
also.
can't do that against Vitality.
Exactly. The dramatic finish was probably not planned, except for Betsy's little backdoor towards the end, because it was actually a very scrappy game. Giants, while they got the late game, they didn't look clean. They actually got outplayed in a lot of team fights by H2K.
And that's just the question now. If the same thing happens today, if Vitality goes all in early, Giants goes all in late, it should be clear-cut for Vitality. But Deficio, I know you gave this some thought. Where do the options lie for Giants early game?
Yeah, if the goal is that Giants needs to try and win the early game, I want to start with Betsy specifically. We already talked about the Azir. I don't think that's the choice you have to go for against Vitality. You need something where you can match Jiizuké's roaming in the early game so you don't suddenly get overrun around the rest of the map. So I'm not a fan of the Azir specifically against Vitality. I would like to see something different from him. Second one, you've already seen it on the screen. Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks. You gotta avoid this dual lane, no matter what, because your dual lane cannot handle this. They tried to play Tam Kench yesterday. You can't play that against this combination. You gotta at least remove the Fiddlesticks, which I think is the key one, because it's just such a good pushing support on the side of Giants. The last one, if they want to try and win that early game, he's smiling. It is Djoko. This man is aggressive. He's the one who always gets the early advantages for Giants by ganking a lot. I need to see that in this game here. I want to see him be proactive, and it needs to work. Otherwise, they fall behind very far.
Now, if we look at it realistically, I think banning out Heimer and Fiddle or one of that should be reachable. I think Djoko, after what he showed in spring, and yesterday, the fact that he smited, 24 times in one game, this guy can be aggressive. I don't know about the composition and if they're going to take Betsy on something not Azir or not Comfort and put him on something else. That, for me, is the biggest question mark. And if that gets filled in, I see a chance. But you guys don't, because you both voted Vitality to win.
I'm still feeling Vitality. 8-11 is Vitality's patch. I'll keep saying it because this just fits their style so well. And I think regardless of what Giants bring to the table, Vitality will come out on top.
And that's the key thing for me as well. Even if Giants are trying to aim for the early game and try and win there, they're not a better early game team than Vitality. So they should still lose if we're playing Vitality's game.
All the same votes. You know that you lost to Ender earlier in the day because he voted
I know, but I mean, who could predict that game?
Let's not open that can of worms right now because we've got a very spicy jungle matchup between Gilius and Djoko. Let's see what they had to say.
Gilius is kind of like my rewards, I guess, because it was in my previous team, but I don't know, every time I play against him it feels easy as because I don't know, he's doing level 2 gank, and if you counter it, then the GG game is over.
I don't really care about Djoko at all, and I think Giants is gonna be the clearly worst team in the LCS in summer. So
He went to Korea, so maybe he had a boost confidence, and maybe one of these two followers said something great for him, so he's feeling blessed. But yeah, nothing more than that. Like he's just another officer in this. So yeah.
Ooh. Sorry, I wasn't ready for that spice. Sorry.
Yeah, that was quite spicy.
Cool. Hey, everybody. I'm still here. I'm, of course, joined by Andrew Vedius today. What's up, man?
That's good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent. I've had 2 fantastic games of League of Legends today. I'm looking forward to a third. It's always great when there's some fantastic trash talk, especially between 2 of our more fiery junglers here in EU.
Exactly that. And we won't have to wait very long, Mr.
pick
Pyra,
me.
because we're going to jump straight into the draft. And already our first ban has hit the board.
Okay, Braum. off the table.
So the great thing about Braum bans is you'd think it'd be support, but we've actually seen more mid lane Braum than
I'm not
we've seen
guessing
support
anything anymore.
So yeah, I like the respect coming out from Giants towards the Zoe ban. Not only is it a big comfort pick of Jiizuké, but it's been considered pretty strong in the current metagame, especially over in the LPL. It's like the second most prioritized mid laner after Irelia, and often many people consider it pretty good into the Irelia matchup as well. So I think Zoe is one of those meta bans. Things like Irelia, very meta. Taliyah, also very strong. Vladimir is another one that we've just seen from Vitality that I think is considered pretty all-round, pretty versatile and very strong.
Yeah, and as Deficio pointed out earlier in the day, is that triple flexibility, Vitality not wanting to deal with that. You can see Yamato, Cannon, and Coops, both of them very pensive with their team right now. But the Irelia, once more, this has been a consistent red side ban today.
That's typically because if it is left available, teams will usually go for the first pick. And with Zoe already banned away, they feel like they have to take it off the board because there won't be any good answers. What is being left up, though? Camille is a strong pick that's very prevalent in the current meta, something that I'm sure Gilius is more than happy to play. Thinking about it as well, the Taliyah, of course, is another big one that is up and ready to go. Interesting that we saw so many AD carries come out from Misfits. It feels like the Vitality, you got to remember Fiddlesticks and the Heimerdinger, one of the conditions that Deficio did say you need to take away, Vitality have available to them.
Yeah, they can pick one of them here if they want to. Now, Giants, they did ban the Aatrox away, which is what Vitality had a lot of success on yesterday with Cabochard, but he locks in the Taliyah, as you pointed out, very quickly. That's up and available. Now for Giants, what is going to be their answer? Focusing on the Lulu very, very fast in this game.
I feel like
It'll take away.
Ooh, interesting. So again, you have a lot of flexibility with the Lulu. Lulu Fiddle bot lane is the thing. But I prefer Lulu in the mid when she provides that supportive kind of role, especially when you pair up with a big carry jungler with something like a Nocturne, who I think can do pretty well into Taliyah. You also have the potential to run the Master Yi, but we'll see how things come out. Talon insta-lock.
Wow.
Wow. I was, okay, Vitality continuing on with their creativity. The fact that it's a blind pick Talon, that's fascinating. Because the thing about Talon is, like, you don't really play against it a lot, so it's difficult to know what is a good counter into it. But now that they've gone for the early blind pick, and there's no immediate answer from Giants, they could look to ban away more mid laners, or they're saying, you know what, we think your Lulu is in the mid lane. We're fine running Talon into mid because you're super squishy and at 6, I can just one-shot you. But that is very, very unique. It's definitely not something we expect.
And bold. We have surprises all day now, so let's keep going down the line here though. We got the Heimerdinger banned away, so that combo won't come out this game. The Mundo's also banned out, this time by Vitality. And then of course the Zhao got locked in by the Giants squad.
So, yes, we are going to see a bit of B-roll from yesterday, where the Fiddlesticks helped with a great outplay onto Kobe, allowing Vitality's bot to get the early advantage. The Heimerdinger was rather threatening from that of Attila, and it will be just taken off the board. The pushing power is pretty relentless, and they do not want to give that one away.
That 2v2 was dirty though, man. That Fiddlesticks had no right to be alive, and that fear saved it completely. This was, of course, the collapse that happened afterwards. But let's go back into it in the ban phase. The Thresh is removed. Now, this is pretty targeted Jactroll's way, I think, as the Darius also gets taken off the board.
You are quite right. Thresh was a big comfort pick for Jactroll, and it's also pretty good into Fiddle support because hooks are very good against squishies, is the TLDR.
There are other hook champions up. We saw one earlier today.
Yeah, Blitzcrank was actually picked up in the LCK this morning. Pyke was picked earlier in the EU LCS today. So there are still many options available for Vitality, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bit of a kill lane coming out from Vitality.
Could be. So the GP gets locked in. So this one is, one of the more older school metas past kinds of champions. It's had its appearances in the ban column today, and it'll be taken to the Rift, most likely by Ruin. But then again, I have no idea.
So I would imagine that the Gangplank will be going up in the top lane, but earlier today in the LCK, we saw it in the bot lane position. There was the Pyke that we were talking about. The kill lane hooks being very good into squishy champions. Now the question is, how do you round this composition out? I'm expecting it to be a bot laner, something that Attila will be playing, but I have no idea what it is, Pyra. I'm not going to guess.
Attila can play like everything. What if he goes Talon bot? Like,
no.
We
Wait,
got a Lux.
We got a Lux.
I have no idea where this is going.
Okay, so Lux did receive a couple buffs I believe it was back on patch 8.9.
It was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, the cooldown on her Q got reduced, the mana cost got reduced, early damage got buffed, her shielding got buffed as well. And now Vitality has said, you know what, we actually think she's really good. And it looks like that it's going to go in the bot lane, so you kind of stay out of range from the Fiddles. No?
Wait, we got time.
Okay, we got till 20 seconds. Let's wait until everything's locked in.
Let's look at Giants' composition first. I mean, we've got like a jungler, an actual jungler.
We do have an actual jungler.
You got an actual top laner. What was, more or less is now a mid laner, an actual lady carry, and then Fiddlesticks.
Whew, okay, so yeah, Giants, their composition is very much built around an early game focus. Zhao, very strong in the early game. Ezreal, if he goes for an early Training Force, yes, you have a big one-item spike, which I like a lot. You also have the Gangplank that once he hits Training Force is pretty strong. So I feel like early game is a way in which Giants can look to play. They kind of have an essence of late game with the Gangplank and Ezreal, who do kind of scale up nicely, especially if you go more towards, I mean, we all know, we've all seen late game Gangplank, and we've all seen what the double tier Ezreal can do in the late game. So we'll see how that works out. But now all the champions have been locked in power. We know what's going on for Vitality.
So the Lux is going to be in the AD carry. Well,
the bot lane.
The bot lane. Sorry, that's what we call it now. But there's double assassin. There's the Ornn front lane. There's the Taliyah roam. Vitality. This is just such an interesting mix of champions.
Yes, it certainly is. So in terms of early game, you have a lot of kill pressure set up in the bot. Pyke. Combined with Lux, you have a lot of pick potential, and on top of that, you have a lot of roaming power. Talon, very good at moving around the map. Same can be said for the Taliyah, and I feel like their focus is going to be trying to kill this 2v2 in the bot lane. Very squishy Fiddle, he's going to be the target. Vitality, they're out for early game blood.
Yeah, lest we forget the Pyke and his roaming. We saw Norscarin taking that one earlier on today. Now let's see what Vitality and Giants make of each other as they go head-to-head on the Rift. Both teams vying for a 2-0 start in the EU LCS Summer. Let's find out who takes it.
Now we got a Talon in the game. I love mid lane assassins. They are my favorite style of champion to play.
Especially when they're named Nocturne.
Especially when they're named Nocturne. But Talon, he was a big favorite of mine a couple years ago, and I feel like it's funny because I had the opportunity to speak with Jiizuké at the third place match in Copenhagen, and he was telling me how he loved champions like Katarina and Talon specifically. And there were two champs that he just loved to play but never really saw an opportunity to make them work. But now with how crazy the current metagame is and how they're very much expecting this Lulu in the mid lane, he feels that it's a confident matchup. And you can even see Predator has been picked up. He's all about roaming around the map. He's looking for picks towards the bottom side. And it's just important to recognize that the thing is, Lulu is typically considered good into assassins because of her polymorph. So you think of like Zed and Nocturne, when they dive in, instantly polymorph, your assassin is now useless for 2.5 seconds. But Talon has stealth. His ultimate makes him invisible, it allows him to get onto the back line and just very quickly burst the target out before Lulu can respond. So her goal is going to be trying to use that wild growth, protect as much as possible, but it's going to be challenging, especially when you think about the amount of burst that this Talon does have. And in the laning phase, he has a lot of wave clear. Going to go for an early Tiamat to add to that wave clear and then very quickly try and grab himself that Ghostblade and Duskblade for more mobility and that lethality.
He's doubled up on the wave clear too. He has a minion dematerializer to start this game off. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of potential for Vitality to make moves all over the map. Now, Scuttle Crab might be fought over here. Djoko's Zhao not too far behind Gilius, and he might actually just give up the ghost on this one. Gilius looks like he's getting caught having to flash away. Oh boy, baby, we might have ourselves a bit of a fight here. NukesAlot gets yoinked in. Flash is still within lethal range. This is going to be an early first blood. And he gets nuked a lot.
So, wow, Vitality, they already find themselves an early kill in bot. And it's off the back of Djoko trying to punish Gilius for contesting this Scuttle Crab. Yes, he will be able to secure it, but it's Vitality that walk away with that very first kill. Excellent start for Vitality, already advantage gained.
All right, this is exactly the way that Vitality love to play the game. Suited them well so far in this meta. Jiizuké goes forward, gets a little bit of farm. Betsy punishing him back. Gotta dodge those rakes.
Yeah, you're always going to take a bit of harassment, but let's have a look back at how this replay happened. Gilius with the early respect flash, it makes a lot of sense. Now, the thing is already level 2 gained from the Vitality bot lane. NukesAlot flashes forward to avoid the Q from Attila, but the E is already up. It has a very long range. It cuts off your route of escape, and a collapse is very easy for the rest of the Vitality squad. And first blood did go over to Jactroll on the Pyke. looks like that so far he hasn't decided to go for any early boots, already upgrading his support item.
It's like what Deficio was saying in the last game as well. Like you get these matchups where you're not sure what you're supposed to do because you're not used to playing against these champions. I guess unless you're up against Attila, because apparently he plays a fair amount of this Lux in solo queue. But I don't think that's the kind of thing you're usually preparing for.
I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like Attila can play almost any champion. He feels very comfortable in his champion ocean, one could say, in his versatility. And I will also add, Lux isn't a very hard champion.
There are like a lot of Lux mains who'd like to have a win with you, right now.
She is very skill shot based, and you can just kind of keep throwing out abilities.
It's in the name, dude. Skill.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough. You got me there. But basically, what you're going to aim to do in this laning phase is just constantly throw out hooks and Qs. And if one of them lands, well, you pretty much get a kill, especially at level 6. And one of the big things about Lux is, like, for a couple of patches, her ult has kind of been progressively buffed. And basically, every time you get a kill, the cooldown gets refreshed. So sometimes you can even get your ult off twice in a single fight, depending on how involved you are in the setup of those kills.
You're not the only champion that we can see that happen with. Remember how often we would see these Ornn ultimates coming in, called the Forge God. Well, Cabochard is pretty close to that level 6. We haven't really talked about the top matchup as well. The mid's been a little bit more important, impactful. Jiizuké is going to fall. Betsy with the bloodthirsty Lulu kill on. That's a lot of damage thanks to Pyke's Airy and Ignite.
Betsy running with the Ignite. He had a good performance yesterday on the Azir, and now he's found a solo kill down onto Jiizuké. Good answer back here from Giants, gets themselves on the board.
That's the second time in a week that Jiizuké has gotten 1v1 killed.
Yep.
Saw it happen yesterday. Now, it didn't really matter that much for Vitality. They were still able to crush the game, but it's definitely moved away from him being the focus, and we see Vitality kind of putting a lot more emphasis on the rest of the map.
To me, it just feels like a lot of disrespect coming out from Jiizuké. Yesterday on the Zoe, he went within melee range of Niski while he had his ulti and everything up as an Aurelia, had the Sheen finish, and he just crushed it. And then today, Jiizuké, he ran out of pots on his corrupting potion. He'd taken too much harassment. He then approaches the wave when he is a level down, and he just gets chased out. He's forced to use his flash. This is going to give an early item advantage over to Betsy, and by already completing the blasting one, the Tiamat is going to be even more delayed, so the wave clear is going to be limited from Jiizuké. And again, so here you can see the initial trades, Jiizuké trying to approach the wave, and typically what you do as the Talon is you walk up, you clear out the wave, and this is the mistake. You see, he should back off right now, and instead he sticks around, gets chased, and ends up losing his life.
And he loses his flash, feels bad. A little unfortunate, and it brings Giants kind of back to even keel up against Vitality. It looks like Betsy's not done harassing him just yet. Jiizuké is forced to really bail out of there, parkouring over the wall. Let's talk a little bit, though, about Djoko. We saw it flash up on the screen while the fight was going down. It's been over 800 days since Zhao made an appearance in the ULCS. Do you want to hazard a guess, Vedius, at when that happened? We'll talk about it in a minute because Gilius might be going in for a gank.
I don't know if they can really pull this dive off. Teleport is unavailable from Cabo, but here we go. Jiizuké level 6 has the Predator popped.
Okay, here he goes. Here comes Gilius and Jiizuké. Steeelback already out of there. Nicely spotted. Control ward and everything, but this is going to free up. Well, I was going to say a nice push, but they've got Ruin's ultimate.
Yeah, so this is the Gangplank ulti we were literally just talking about that can really help with the wave clear. Stay away from the dive, and I like the Giants have recognized, okay, Talon wants to roam, guys. He's rushed boots. He has Predator. If he's going to kill anywhere, it will be bot lane. And so that roam ends up getting punished by Betsy. He's able to now sit on a healthy level advantage. He's sitting on a good CS advantage. And if Talon isn't able to find these early kills, then it will be harder for Vitality to find these successful fights, because this is very much a snowball early game focused composition. We talked about how Giants have a little bit more room to scale with the Ezreal and the Gangplank with the double tier as an option. So the more the Giants are able to just hold things out and deny Vitality from finding early kills, the better Giants off they will be.
Joko here. Just look at the bait. Jactroll coming in. Gotta be careful. Gotta avoid that Pyke hook. Yoinked right back in. Betsy instant wild growth. He's gonna stay alive. Flash! He does it. Joko turns Jactroll back around. Does take a lot of damage on the backside of that one, though, but nicely played. Good defensive maneuver, and you're right. Giants, they do seem to be keen to try and scale up. They have room for it. And again, it's even in the coach's name. It's the late game king. That's the deal.
Vitality are basically just trying to find kills as much as they can, but also trying to relieve pressure onto Jiizuké. He wants to go back to base. He wants to spend some of his gold, and it's harder when Betsy still has his flash up and basically has full control over the lane. So I like the move up. Attila's more than happy to hold the lane 1 versus 2. Has the ulti now available, so can act as that extra wave clear should he need it. He's now sitting on a pretty healthy CS lead down to the bottom lane.
Okay, all right, I want to go back to it. Trivia time. Vedius, the last time Xin Zhao was played in the European LCS, it was in Season 4.
Okay.
Do you know who played it? Cast your mind back.
No.
Not quite 1,000 years. All right, I'll tell you because you just gave up, and I'm a little annoyed. It was Sven Skaren.
Sven Skaren?
Yeah, remember he used to play in EU?
Did he?
I know,
Yeah, no,
right?
of course he did. He used to play for SK Gaming. I didn't realize he was the one playing Xin, though. That was old, before the rework of Xin.
It was very, very old. That was a long time ago. We have had many metas passed
Yes,
since
many,
then.
many metas have passed.
But yeah, Xin's back and kicking.
And he's really good.
Yeah.
He is running Phase Rush, which is like one of the more common ones. Sometimes you see press the attack. In solo queue, a couple of Xin Zhaos I played against were running Hail of Blades. Personally, not a massive fan of it. I believe it does get buffed on 8.12, which we're not on. We are still on 8.11. But it does give you that extra bit of damage. And basically, he is a very early game focused champion, and you might see that right now.
Well, Betsy, he's yoinked once again, got the wild growth, and there goes Ruins. Ultimate Jiizuké having to hop the wall. Jactroll, Gilius, they don't have enough damage, and yeah, Djoko, he is quite scary when he's in his own ultimate form, but it looks like Attila, he tried to go in for Betsy, might have bit off a little more than he could shoot, because SirNukesAlot and Steeelback were right there, and amazingly, nobody dies, but as I say it, the laser comes in and deletes Betsy off the map.
Attila was just waiting for Betsy to walk into a narrow choke point where he had no options left. That's why Gilius flashes, because Betsy, he could have walked up, but then he would have died to Gilius, or he walks down and he dies to the laser. It was a lose-lose situation, and Vitality come out with another kill.
All right, exactly what they need, but we're 10 minutes into this game. These guys definitely wanted to get off to, I think, an even faster start. Now, they do have a gold advantage, not just from that kill, but they had been farming a little bit better here, so that extends to about 1,000, a little bit more than that. Joko on mid-lane clear duty for Giants Gaming. It looks like Cabochard wants to go in on Daru, and he knows there's no ultimate. There is a flash, there is a stopwatch, and it's going to get used to dodge out the bounce. Looks like Steeelback and NukesAlot coming in to give Ruin some backup, and Cabochard's going to turn tail and run. Even Joko's coming to this party. So Cabochard knows he's about to get bounced out.
So they went for the swap because they recognized that the tower bot lane was going to go down eventually. They needed to get out of this situation, and so maybe if they could get a kill up top side, or maybe even get themselves a very early tower, it would work out in their favor. But a quick responsive TP from Cabo should result in the first tower blood going to Vitality.
Good instincts from Cabo, realizing we still want to give up that tower first blood, keep that going. And it looks like the tower is actually not going to fall up top. The rest of Vitality responding in time. And you mentioned it, low cooldowns on the Lux ultimate. Well, Final Spark comes in once again.
So Vitality are able to hold off on the early playmaking from Giants. They are suffering now, and the pressure is put onto Vitality in order to continue finding these early kills, finding these early objectives in order to snowball the game. Remember, this Talon will struggle in these later game fights, but Djoko,
not later game just yet. Looking for Djoko is Jiizuké, Gilius, Cabochard also there, but Betsy has his back, defending him.
Gotta admit, these junglers and their Taliyah Ws need some work. Gilius could have landed onto Djoko. He didn't have his flash available, does unfortunately miss it, which means that Djoko gets out with his life, but will generate some pressure for Vitality to get this tier 1 tower.
NukesAlot, he's got level 6, going to use it. Here comes in the surprise party. Everyone gets caught in the middle of it. He goes gold for just a second, and Gilius gets taken down by Betsy, but soon to fall is going to be Djoko, both junglers casualties of the fight. Betsy get point! Oh my goodness! Jactroll. Nice deletion there.
Giants doing their best to hold off on the siege from Vitality, but they are not slowing down. A lot of damage!
Quick thinking from Steeelback. Gets out of dodge just a second in time, but it's a 1-for-2 trade. Giants losing out on a lot of tower pressure as well as 2 of their champions for the next couple of seconds. It looks like Vitality should have all they need to polish off tower number 2 in mid.
So Giants finally wanted to answer, try and make a play of their own, utilizing the Fiddlesticks ultimate with the Djoko engaged to find a pick onto Gilius, but unfortunately they couldn't keep up with the chase. So let's see here. This is a good setup. Vitality don't have the vision. They realize a little too late, and because Gilius has no flash, they're able to find themselves a kill. But while Vitality are escaping, they have a lot of chunk damage from Jiizuké's Talon, from the Lux, from Taliyah doing damage herself, and they're able to find 2 quick kills in exchange. They even find themselves the mid-tier 1. So Vitality continuing to build this early game lead and mount more and more control over the entirety of the map.
Yeah, that gold lead starts to extend once again. A couple thousand ahead, looks like. Channel coming out for Jactroll. Not going to find anything on the hook but the Scuttle Crab. Still, sometimes you fish for what you want. Sometimes, well, it comes right to you. Scuttle's going to fall. Vitality going to secure more of that vision around the Rift Herald pit, and it does look like Giants, while they've been trying to stall just a little bit and not let Vitality completely snowball away with this game, it's in a very uncertain state. They still are far from comfort.
Giants, things are looking a little rough for them. Ideally, it looks like you can see the first tier has been completed for Steeelback. I believe, based on his build, that right now he is not that close to a Trinity Force, should you want to go for that item second. Trinity Force has been finished for Ruin, so that's a nice pickup for the Gangplank up in the top side of the map. But outside of that, nothing really major has been completed for Giants. And this early game, they really want to avoid fighting. Vitality definitely feels stronger. Luden's Echo has been done up for Attila. Jactroll now looking for a play.
All right, he is, and Djoko once again. He does seem to be the one targeted. This time, Gilius does get the knockback the way he wants it. There's still a lot of backup, but will it be enough? Death comes from below, and Jactroll picks up the kill onto Djoko. Vitality continuing to shove this one out.
Ooh, Jactroll getting very low there.
I don't know, Ruin, actually, is he going to live? He's going to flash that wall real quick like, but Jiizuké, he can hop those really quickly, and Attila, he's going to fire down Ruin, and it looks like it's back to business as usual for Vitality.
Pick after pick coming in for Vitality. Initially, you would have thought that it would be the Jiizuké and Gilius roaming show, but Jactroll has joined the mix, and he is setting up a lot of these plays. 3-0 and 1 on the Pyke right now will result in Vitality finding 2 kills and a mountain break.
Yeah, who's the real carry down on bottom? Looks like Attila and Jactroll are kind of competing with each other to see who's going to get the most of them, but really a fearsome duo. Let's take a look at that play again. Djoko getting caught out.
So, it all starts off with just Jactroll moving into the enemy's half of the jungle. They have pretty good vision set up around the blue buff, which means that Giants don't really see this one coming. You've always got to respect the amount of movement speed that the Taliyah does have, and they're able to quickly get that pick off. Jactroll goes into camouflage to get some of his health back, which could have cost him his life if he wasn't careful. And then they go in for this final cleanup onto Ruin, who honestly shouldn't have overstepped. He shouldn't have tried to enter the jungle. It was a good punish from Gilius utilizing that wall, and they end up finding another kill.
Yep, now we got to remember what these guys were able to do yesterday, Attila and Jactroll. That was the good old Heimerdinger Fiddle combination. Now they're up against the Fiddlesticks, but it doesn't seem to have them afraid. I just love how creative these guys are and what they've actually been able to do. It's a fearsome duo lane if it keeps up this way.
It really, really is. These guys have been given a lot of praise by so many other bot lanes in Europe. I've heard that in scrims, these guys are a bit of a terror, considering how aggressively they love to play. And we're seeing that on stage now. Their creativity is overflowing. 2-0-3 for Attila.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just creative, it's working, too. I mean, these guys are full committed to it. And you can see now, with the 5,000 gold advantage, it's going to grow. Jiizuké, well, he may not have been getting so many solo outplays, but what he is doing is putting a lot of damage down on the tower. The Rift Herald gets popped. You can see that one getting taken. It's pretty obvious. It went down. Vitality just grabbing everything on the map.
If you can protect Rift Herald, then it becomes really good at taking down objectives, but it is now that much easier to kill. Jactroll setting up a lot of nice deep vision. Let's see what Vitality can do with this setup. Jactroll, good hook. Doesn't result in anything.
Uh-oh, he might be in some trouble here, though. Djoko wasn't able to find him in time. True Shot Barrage, not going to clip anybody. Rift Herald's going to fall, but that is taking a ton of damage out of the second tier. Tower up in the top lane. Giants struggling to hold the line against this relentless Vitality onslaught. Meanwhile, nobody's at home bot. Look what Cabochard's doing.
Yep, continuing with the push, does have the TP. Ruin has the ultimate to clear out the wave, but it's not a massive one. So I believe Giants will be content with taking the damage to the tower as Ruin makes his way there. Vitality kind of have to reset now. They don't... Oh, they still have plenty of wards in their inventory, in fact. So just going to keep the pressure up. Baron isn't spawning for another 2.5 minutes. So that's likely not going to be the objective. Instead, Vitality just looking for constant picks. So with 2 people coming bot, they may look to continue their siege.
Oh, there's a call. The Forge God's going to get the knock up onto Ruin, but it's double time here. Let's see. Ruin's going to fall before this one ends. Cabochard still tanking through. Djoko trying to get within range.
Oh, my words.
And the BM. Cabochard knows he took the 1v2 and lived.
The disrespect coming out from Cabochard. Ornn proving how strong of a champion he is in a 2 versus 1. Finds himself a kill.
And he's gonna get more tower damage. This is a nightmare for Giants.
Ooh, things are snowballing out of control for Vitality right now.
One tower up the top. Cabochard nearly sinks the one at the bottom. Looks like attempt number 2. Djoko wants some revenge after what just happened. Getting the knock-up, getting the damage. There's no way he gets out of this one alive, but I think Cabochard's just laughing and calling worth in all chat.
Yeah, I mean, they secure the tower in mid as well, so now it's 5 towers to 1 in favor of Vitality. They're more than happy to take that trade. Jiizuké may even look for the tower himself. He knows the Giants have to back off as a result of getting that kill up topside, and so he can just extend the goal lead even further for Vitality. And with the Baron spawning relatively soon, it's not the fastest Baron taking team, but it's an objective that they can continue to play around.
And it is a little easier to take than it used to be. Now let's take a look at that 1v2 once again. Cabochard had already really taken a big bite out of Ruin's health bar.
Ruin does use the ultimate, but a lot of the damage is avoided by Cabochard, and you're just kind of seeing the power of Ornn going with the Iceborne Gauntlet, because it gives you a surprising amount of armor and damage. The Sheen really contributes a lot, considering how often you use your abilities. And given that Ruin has no defensive stats, Cabochard was able to find a pretty significant outplay. He's now gone for the Sterax, gotta admit. Rather unconventional Ornn build, but
I like it.
Guess he's going for the dueling Ornn strategy.
Look, he's got one glove on one hand, he's got another glove on the other, and if all else fails, he's got a big old hammer to smack you with.
Yes, he certainly does, and right now it is working out perfectly for them. Infernal Drake is spawning relatively soon. Maybe they want to put a little bit more focus on the Baron, but with no vision setup right now, Vitality's eyes are likely set elsewhere.
Very true. Now, in another minute and 15, there's going to be another objective also available on the map. That's an Infernal Dragon. As Trevor pointed out at the start of the day, we haven't actually seen that many of them in the ULCS so far. But Vitality, I don't think they necessarily need the damage to do it. Jiizuké's got to be careful, though. He checks into Ruin and Betsy. He's going to hop the wall twice and get out.
That's the really strong thing about Talon in the side lane. We don't
and Jactroll.
He's fine, he's fine.
And Pyke, he can do that too.
But yeah, Jiizuké is really, really mobile on the Talon. Every time you think you've locked him down, oh, well, he jumps over another wall and he's absolutely fine. So he's really good off on a side lane, and while they're trying to shut him down, Cabo is split pushing off on the bot side off the map. That means that 6 towers to 1 now in favor of Vitality, an 8k gold lead. Pretty difficult for Giants to come back from this one. Yes, you could argue they have an essence of scaling and potentially the Gangplank and the double tier Ezreal, but it's going to take so long to get there that Vitality can just keep dictating the pace of the game and force Giants into these situations that they really don't want to be in.
Yeah, it seemed like ages ago when we were talking about Giants, it slowed things down just a little bit. Vitality maybe weren't quite so comfortable, but we're 20 minutes into this game, and look at this gold lead. It's 8,000 now. Jiizuké, he is going to get caught. He is going to get taken down. Giants absolutely needed that. But Vitality, that's a minor setback for them at best.
Well, I mean, it is a lot of pressure now gone.
Oh dear. Hooked, taken down, goodbye. That's a death rush.
Kill for kill traded. Jiizuké overextends top and gets punished as a result. Then Djoko doesn't respect the lack of vision in the river that he tries to get by himself. And funnily enough, Vitality are the ones to find the pit.
Yep, and that is the first Infernal Dragon.
Oh god, why did Stats have that prepared? How did they sneak that one in?
They were waiting. You gotta check the prep a little better, Vedi. Alright, so let's take a look at that again. It started with Jiizuké checking into Djoko.
Yeah, and just look at the minimap as well. You can see the Vitality are not in a position to really contest anything. They rush quickly towards the Baron because they're concerned that Giants might try and set something up. But then Djoko, such a crucial mistake, walking into the river without the vision. Very easy and quick pick.
That is a scary duo. I keep saying it because it keeps being true. What a wombo. Just CC, displacement, and a lot of damage.
Dustblade has now been picked up for Jactroll.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so it has.
Yep.
Yep. He's got double the kills of his bot lane.
Yeah, but the cool thing is when you execute someone with your ult, you give the gold over to the closest assist, which means that Attila's still got a lot of gold for that last kill.
That's why they run together.
And you can see how much gold that Attila is currently sitting on. It is quite a lot with a Ludens and a Morello already completed. He has a 1,200 gold lead on his lane opponent by himself. And funnily enough, that is a needlessly large rod, which is exactly what he has.
I would say he does need a lot of damage, but he's certainly got it for sure. Giants, there's just so many threats they have to contend with at this point, because we've been talking about the bottom lane. Jiizuké hasn't been especially relevant as a damage dealer, but he's still an assassin. He's still scary. Cabochard already proved that they can't kill him with 2 people. And Gilius has been able to get around the map and grab objectives pretty quickly. Everyone in Vitality is doing what they need to do.
They certainly are. Now the game becomes about setting up the Baron or finding more picks.
Oh, Betsy, hello!
That is a
Ramshorns didn't
dead
even need to come
Betsy.
in.
Yep, Vitality find themselves another pick. They have full control over the jungle. Giants couldn't even walk into their own jungle before losing their life. And now with all these pushing waves, this becomes the next objective.
Baron time. I don't know if there's really going to be anything the Giants can try and do to answer this. Instead, Ruin tries to take a consolation prize tower down bottom. Giants desperately needing the gold to get back into this game, but at what cost will it be? 3 members taking the Baron, 2 guarding, and doing a little double dipping trying to take out the red buff, or at least just starting it for kicks. And that's going to be Baron taken down. 23.5 minutes. Vitality fully in the driver's seat in this game.
Giants can't look to contest whatsoever. They only have 2 towers to their name after picking that one up down in the bot. Vitality, they have everything going for them. It's only a matter of time before they close things out. It's just a matter of how fast they can do it from this point on.
That is a fair point. I mean, Giants, they'd need quite a lot to try and hold on to this one, but for Vitality, we're seeing once again this clean execution. Not without its individual mistakes. I'm looking at you, Jiizuké, but that's okay. Team's winning. Let's see if Giants are trying to set up a little bit of a death brush. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, Ruin does have a decent amount of damage, but I don't know if it really compensates for the 9,000 gold deficit that they're in.
Oh boy, okay, Jiizuké, he's gotten found, but the game is up, and they're not going to be able to find a kill out of that, just the Scuttle Crab instead. Ruin, he's going to get caught, has to flash, stunned up once again, eats an orange, but that is not K! Attila, the damage is real.
And Vitality keep finding these picks one after another. Ruin now gone, he lost his flash, the oranges were not enough to help him survive that encounter, and Vitality with a numbers advantage can set up for the siege, and this comp is surprisingly good at sieging because you have the Taliyah poke, you have the Lux damage as well. A single bit of CC lands, you're gonna lose your life.
Yeah, there's just so much to contend with here, and Giants, it doesn't matter how many escapes they might have for themselves, one person's getting deleted off the map, and then after that, it's easy pickings for the rest of them. So tower falls in the mid, soon to fall in the bot. Vitality are attacking the 2 fronts, Giants desperately trying to defend. Here comes the call. The Forge God, SirNukesAlot gets knocked up, and the death from below comes, but it's Jiizuké that finally finds himself a kill. 1 inhibitor down. The second one falls as well. 25.5 minutes. Vitality looking to put a cap on this game, and they're right here, right now, flashing forward, looking for the kills. About to bit off a little more than they could chew, but Ruin's gonna fall all the same. Vitality getting hyphy, but it doesn't matter for Giants. They just can't find the damage. Djoko goes in, tries for the hero play, nothing doing. And with only a handful of defenders left, I think I know how this one goes. Vedius, Cabochard flashing, forcing the remaining Giants all the way into the fountain.
Vitality look clean, look strong, and they're gonna secure a 2-0 week as we return for Summer Split.
Okay, one more surprise party, but I don't think there's any more surprises left for Giants. It looks like Jactroll's going fleeing, but he gets the gold. Shut down at the end of the day. Steeelback and Betsy manages to find it. It looks like this one's not gonna end just yet, but it is almost over.
So zoning ult there coming out from Attila to keep Giants off the back of their top laner. Wow, Vitality decided not to end. They didn't want to overcommit. Feel like they could have tried, but instead they said, you know what, we can wait out this a little longer. We can pad our KDA.
I think they might have overcommitted a little to killing some champions there. But,
Very valid.
Oh yeah. All the same, style points awarded.
Yeah, when we get a look at the replay, we can see how convincing Vitality looked in a lot of those fights. The goal lead is insurmountable. Giants, yes, they kind of had a potential late game win condition, but they were never in a position to get to that point. We're only 26.5 minutes into the game, and in order to really challenge this Vitality squad, you're going to need, well, on Steeelback, you probably need 1 more item, I guess. Betsy's still sitting at around 2, but Vitality looking so good. They only need to take 1 inhibitor down. And yeah, it's very challenging at this point as a caster to kind of see an outcome, because given the insurmountable goal lead, this feels like that for Vitality to lose, it would be quite the miracle.
All right, well, looks like Vitality just going in for round 2. I know it's hard, Vedi, when you're trying to think of the ways the Giants could come back to this one. They had a miraculous win with that backdoor from Betsy yesterday, but it looks like the luck is running out as a 2-man knockup comes in. That is a whole lot of AoE damage. Djoko, though, he's hanging tough. In the face of danger, it looks like Ruin, the cannon barrage does chunk out a lot of these members of Vitality, but is it too little? Is it too late? There's another wave of supers coming in the bot, soon to be the mid. Giants trying to scramble for anything they can find here. SirNukesAlot comes in, gets the damage off, and they managed to delete Gilius off the map. Is that going to be enough to keep him in this one? Jiizuké, Cabochard going into the front. They just got to melt through those health bars, and they're going to be able to do it. And Jiizuké cleaning house, while the rest of Vitality held the line. That's going to be GG. Vitality close it out. 28 minutes on the dot.
Happy faces across the board for Vitality. Once again, showing further innovation with the Talon, with the Lux. Yes, Jiizuké didn't quite have the impact that I imagined he would have wanted, but Attila on the Lux, Jactroll on this roaming Pyke. This bot lane continues to perform at an extremely high level, and they are a big part of why Vitality are getting these early leads and finding these successful snowballs.
Of course, it's a team effort across the board. Vitality can stand proud of what they've done today. I want to give some credit to Cabochard. That's the second game in a row that I've seen that guy drawing pressure on the solo push and defying death and finding kills. This guy's had a very up and down history in the LCS. He is the longest standing member of Vitality, going pretty much all the way back. And he wasn't relevant for a long time, but now he is quite a threat.
Sure, I mean, Cabochard's been playing well. I feel like Gilius is playing pretty well. The whole team is playing well. Jiizuké has made a couple of individual mistakes, but for the most part, we have seen a very good, very clean Vitality. Many analysts expected them to do well in the current meta. This does very much feel like their meta to succeed and thrive in. And starting off the split with a 2-0 week, looking to replicate their performance from Spring, Vitality, they want to keep this momentum going. And the question is, how will they fare against some of the other top performers? You're already starting to build hype up towards Vitality versus Misfits. It was already a very epic game the last time they faced up against each other last split. And you can only imagine with all the creativity, with all the early game focus that both these teams have had, that's going to be a very exciting match.
I can't say that I disagree with you on this one, Vedius. That is going to be a lot to look forward to, but we got to do a little bit of looking back. I want to take a look one more time at that first attempt that Vitality had on the base, brought to you by Ace of Predator.
So we get to see this siege down from the side of Vitality. This is pretty much where they ended the game. Brewing doing what he can, but against 5 members, he doesn't have the damage. Now, Betsy, you know, we talked about how he has been playing relatively well. Diving onto the backline to try and take Gilius out of the fight was definitely admirable, but when you're only level 13 and you're this far behind, it's challenging with the amount of impact that you can really have. So they weren't able to find the kills onto Gilius, but then he gets a turnaround alongside Steeelback and is able to kill the mid laner in Jiizuké. You're quite right in that they overcommitted for all these kills. They recognized they had no mana left, and Giants found themselves getting a kill here and there, and this bought them a little bit of extra time. Vitality were forced to base, but it didn't take them very long to return to their original setup and find themselves the game win.
It was quite the regroup for sure. I mean, Vitality just looks so incredibly strong. There's certainly teams that can challenge them, but as I think Ender was saying as well, it seems like it really does fit their meta. There's a lot of crazy champions that are viable. These guys like playing them. The early game, the mid game is just so utterly important. I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Well, we'll see. Patch 8.12 is only on the horizon. The game is ever evolving, but finishing off your week 1 with a 2-0 start, Vitality going to be sitting at the top of the leaderboard alongside Misfits.
Absolutely, and now there was a lot to like in that one, but if you guys have a favorite performer, be sure to vote for your player of the game at LOL Esports on Twitter. Your options right now are Jactroll, Attila, and Cabochard. And again, that's a hard call. They all had incredible impact.
For me, it's got to be the Lux Attila. I feel like he had a great performance.
You're double dipping, man.
What do you mean?
You said the Lux. Oh, Attila. I thought you were talking about Pyke as well.
Yeah, no, the Lux
Never
Attila.
mind. It's been a long day. Yeah, I'll give it to you. But I love watching what Pyke does. He's always deleting an extra person. He's always taking
Funny enough, I didn't
think
think he'd be relevant because it's like he only works if you get early snowballs, and then all of a sudden the meta changes into early snowballs. And you're like, oh, now he's relevant.
There we go. So let's go ahead and send it off to Laure and see what Jiizuké has to say after that win.
Thank you very much, guys. And thank you, Jiizuké, for joining me on stage. Second victory here. Now, it brings back memories for the Spring Split, I believe. Everybody is saying that it's Vitality's meta right now. What do you feel about it?
I think just we have, since we have good scrims, we always come to a split with good practice, and we just dominate everyone. And we hope that we keep the consistency throughout all the split.
Now, more about you. You had a hard time yesterday. Obviously, not a good matchup today. What is going on? Are you still confident?
Nah, that never. I think just yesterday I was hard focused by enemy team, and I was like, okay, bot lane top, just the carry, they're 40 CS up. I don't have to do anything. And this game was quite the same actually. Like, I was just a mid-prio slave. I gave mid-prio to my team and they just win. So, like, even when Betsy solo killed me, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter at all for my matchup. And of course, it's a mistake, shouldn't happen, but I was just watching Attila bot lane and Cabochard top. They were carrying the game, so I just have to give them mid prio and the game is over.
Do you think like mid lane role as a general is less important than it used to be?
I think mid prio is always important, and not sure if it's less important than other roles, but I don't know. Caps is playing boost comb, like it's a really weird meta right now. So I don't know what to say about it. Like we're all pretty new in this.
Okay, one last question for you. We saw your Taliyah during the spring. How do you feel now that you have to see Gilius play Taliyah in the jungle?
I don't know, but in general, watching junglers, like I really just I cringe really hard when I see junglers playing Taliyah. Like like thankfully Gilius, I say to him something, and he says, "Oh, okay, nice tip," but like I can't imagine if other junglers don't listen to their mid laner. It's really sad.
Well, hopefully he changed for you guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Wow. Okay. And now let's turn it over to break. But before that, we have a little video about how caps became claps during MSI.
Caps is probably gonna take over the mid lane this split. I feel like after MSI it was just really clear that he is miles above everyone else, not only Europe but almost in the entire world.
Oh, is they're gonna get the Arsenal for a pass. Well, let's see what he can do. Follows up with a Q, manages to get the last breath as well. The shield comes up from Shohu, and a steal takes for the solo kill. Win condition enabled.
Has gone way too far. Here comes the corgi though. One on count. Peanut goes into the globule. Oh, now has to put the second pull. But talking about Brave is dead. Reckless jump.
Caps, together with Mabel, they're the two best performing players in this tournament right now.
I love League of Legends. I play 24/7. I really don't do anything else than League. I don't party, I don't drink. I think League is basically my life.
Because it's going to be all about the mid lane and the momentum that they've built around Caps as a star player.
Addict versus Team Liquid. That was not exactly the kind of tiebreaker I was expecting to see.
Looking at MSI history, or even Worlds history, North America has a higher win percentage in group stage, but it always seems to be the European team winning in the clutch.
Oh, does not have a way out. He can charge for some damage, but he will be killed off. Can't blow him back in. Weaver's Wall is going to guarantee it. And Ole is ulted into nothing. Fnatic make it to the top 4. They're going to Paris.
Down for RNG, they're trying again. Well, Uzi found himself in a really bad spot as Caps cleans out. They're going to nuke.
This was one of the closest 3-0 series we've had.
Hard work is what makes me good. I think I have always worked hard. That's a big difference as to why I'm performing so well, while others may, enjoy partying a bit more.